the book of Revelation, chapter 1, starting at verse 1, and it reads, The revelation of YAHAWASHI HaMashiach, which Yahweh gave unto him, to show unto his servants the things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John, who bare the record of the word of Yahweh, and of the testimony of YAHAWASHI HaMashiach, and of all the things that he saw. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all honor and glory to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That is YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, QADASH. Next, double honors to the elders, the bishops, and the apostles of the great millstone. Much respect to the brothers who's doing this work in all truth, in all sincerity, for the second coming of our Lord and Savior, YAHAWASHI HaMashiach. Shalom to the Lord's elect. Just want to get into a very quick lesson here. Lord's willing to be edifying and to the point. This is breaking development news from the Hal Turner radio show. You won't get this out of your mainstream media. No, you will not. Because you turn on your local television, most of the places where you live in, you'll never see anything of such. That's a high degree that you will not see this information out there. It says developments. This is from the Hal Turner radio show, by the way. It says developments along Ukraine-Belarus border. GPS disruption. New army markings on Belarus armor triggers. Concerns Belarus to enter war. So new army markings on Belarus armor. What does it do? It triggers concerns Belarus to enter war. And we say Barakateh Yahawah, Barakateh Yahawashi, Barakateh Yahawah, Barakateh Yahawashi. All praises to Yahawah B'Shem Yahawashi, because this is prophecy. This is prophecy. Every word of Yahawah B'Shem Yahawashi, it is pure. See, every word. Let's go to the book of Isaiah 40. Let's start at verse 7. It says, The grass withereth, and the flower fadeth, because the Spirit of the Lord bloweth upon it. Surely the people is grass. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, but the word of our power shall stand forever. So whatever the Lord says, it will come to pass. It shall come to pass. Let's go to Isaiah 55, verse 11. It says, so shall my word be that go forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void. See, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So the Lord's word does not return void. See, so let's get into this. It says, the sudden appearance of tactical symbol B appearing on Belarus army units, their movement towards the Ukraine border, and sudden L-band GPS disruptions are triggering fears Belarus is about to enter the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And that is problems for Ukraine. And that's more problems added to NATO and its allies. It says, dooming Ukraine to fast defeat. Dooming Ukraine to fast defeat. Because if you follow the narrative of the mainstream media, you will believe that Ukraine is handing it to Russia. Ukraine is losing this war badly. They're losing personnel like there's no tomorrow. They're trying to draft people, civilians, as young as 16 years old, women, elderly, anyone who's able-bodied to fight. And what does that do? You're bringing in a person pretty much to be slaughtered, because there's not enough time to properly train these people, and they're not equipped for it. Not everybody's equipped to be a soldier. It says, imagery along the Belarus border, near the Poland border. It says near the Poland border is showing some of the Belarus armor, which have been inscribed with the letter B. So this is here to mark the letter B, to show you that this is Belarus equipment. other than, so basically Russia will be able to identify whether it's their vehicle, Belarus vehicle, or the enemy's vehicle. So look at all their equipment. They're showing you all this, the inscriptions with the letter B. Just going through it. So they have, even right down to their tanks are marked with the B on it. It says the use of tactical symbols on military vehicles was initially observed when Russian forces began sending different units to Ukraine 2 years ago, allowing Russian troops to quickly identify friend or foe. It says allow Russian troops to quickly identify is it a friendly or it's an enemy. See, on a battlefield. In the 2+ years of the Russian-Ukraine conflict, Belarus troops, which have steadfastly remained outside the battle zone, have never once displayed any such tactical symbols until now. Because why? Prophecy has to be fulfilled. The Lord is stirring up the minds of the kings of the earth to fight. It says the movement of significant amounts of Belarus armies, vehicles, and armor towards the Ukraine border, and making of those vehicles with a tactical symbol B gives rise to fears that Belarus is about to enter the conflict on the side of Russia. Let's go to the scriptures for a second. Let's go to Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. Show you this is prophecy. It says, let's start at verse 1. It says Ezekiel 38 verse 1. And the word, see what it says here. It says, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog in the land of Magog. We're talking about the Russian area, right? It says, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And thus said the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. So this is talking about Russia. It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws. The Lord said, just like what I just quoted, the Lord is, when you put symbolic, you put hooks in someone's jaw, you control their movement. So the Lord is putting the spirit on these kings of the earth to fight. He says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws, and I will bring forth all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, talking about the military, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, weapons. So you just saw that picture, those photos, and there's this Russian allies, Persia, who's what? Modern day Iran, ancient Carmanians, Ethiopia, and Libya. These are all BRICS nations, right? With them. And all of them with shield and helmet. So this is all the allies of Russia assembling. Gomer and its bands, and the house of Togarmah, and all the north quarters, and all of his bands, and many people with thee. See? And many people with thee. Now Belarus is joining the fight. But here's what it's saying to Russia. Be thou prepared, and prepare thyself, and prepare for thyself, for thou and all thy company, and assemble unto thee, and be a guard unto them. So I'll read that again. Ezekiel 38 verse 7. It says, be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all the company that are assembled unto thee. What does this article say? And be a guard unto them, right? What does this say? The movement of significant amount of Belarus army soldiers, army vehicles, and armor toward the Ukraine border, and making of those vehicles the tactical B symbol, give rise to fears that Belarus is about to enter the conflict on the side of Russia. More, the next morning in the area of the Poland-Belarus border, observers noted sudden strong disruption of L-band GPS signals. That exact area. So they're using GPS signal jammers. It says the L-band of GPS is almost universally used by weapon systems to look into final approach to hit targets. So why the sudden, severe, or complete blockage of L-band in the areas where Belarus troops are now moving, unless they went to assure they aren't hit by incoming weapons? See that? Why would Belarus move troops now? In the 2+ years of Russia-Ukraine conflict, Belarus has not moved its forces within 10K of the Ukraine border. Yet now, yet right now, that is exactly what is taking place. People who are long-time observers of the Southern wonder why now. It turns out that for months it has been widely known that NATO troops have been entering the Russian-Ukraine battle, listen to that, covertly from inside Poland. See, this is in the geopolitical world. They know this stuff. While no factual reason has yet been given for sudden movement of Belarus troops, tanks, and armor towards the Ukraine border, near the Poland border, widespread speculation say the Belarus troops may enter into Ukraine to pivot and face Poland's border to prevent further infiltration of NATO troops to Ukraine. That will be a serious blow. It says Ukraine has loudly protested the sudden and now ongoing movement of Belarus forces. At the end of the day, they're all brothers. But they're fighting. Ukraine is fighting a proxy war for America, the West, and its allies near to Ukraine northern border. Those protests have fallen on deaf ears. It's time of war. If Belarus enter Ukraine, pivots to face the Poland border, and thereby cuts off the flow of NATO troops and weapons to Ukraine, most observers say Ukraine will be doomed. You hear that? I'll read it again. If Belarus enter Ukraine, pivots to the face of Poland border, and thereby cuts off the flow of NATO troops and weapons into Ukraine, most observers say Ukraine will be doomed. Listen to this. Because why? Let's go to Isaiah, the 8th chapter, starting at verse 9 in the NIV. Raise the war cry. That's the alarm. Raise the war cry, your nations. Didn't it just say Ukraine was just protesting this? Raise the war cry, you nations, and be shattered. Listen, all you distant lands, prepare for battle. So the Lord is putting the spirit on the kings of the earth to fight. And be shattered. Prepare for battle and be shattered. This is what the Lord is saying right now. Because the slain of the Lord shall be many. It says, when the Russia-Ukraine conflict began, Ukraine had the largest standing army in Europe. 8,000. Salakia, man. My mind is all over the place. 800,000 troops as of today. More than 650,000 of them are dead. Do you hearing this? I'll repeat that again. I was too excited there and I'm going a bit too fast, but it's got to breathe and slow down. It says, when the Russia-Ukraine conflict began, Ukraine had the largest standing army in Europe. So when this thing started 2.5 years ago, Ukraine had the largest standing army in Europe. 800,000 troops. As of today, more than 650,000 of them are dead. Man, that is, you know what? Let's go to Jeremiah 25, verse 33. Let's see this. It says, and the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. Because why? And the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other. Look what he says. 650,000 of them are dead. That leaves you 150,000 remaining, give or take. So ferocious has the Russian army been, because they're the bear, right, to fulfill prophecy. That even more than a year after Ukraine began a draft to conscript people into their army. See, I know what it means, but just for edification, conscript. Let's see what it says here. It's always important to look up words and stuff, but look what it says. It says to enlist someone compulsory, typically into the armed services. They were conscripted into the army. And that's why I said these guys, at one point there was reports that they were just driving in vans and scooping Ukrainians off the street and giving them a gun and telling them to fight. How long you think that would last, those type of soldiers? It says, some ferocious has the Russian army been, that even more than a year after Ukraine began a draft to conscript people into their army, including boys as young as 16, I quoted that earlier, and even women. The average life expectancy of a Ukraine soldier in battle with Russia is what? Look at that, 4 hours. 4 hours. 4 hours. What do you expect? You take someone off the street, give them a gun, show them how to pull the trigger, show them how to reload a gun. What is that going to do? It says the mass media in the United States and in Europe have carefully concealed this fact. And I said earlier, you're not going to get this from the mainstream media. And this is true. While they spin the West narrative that Ukraine is winning. And this is what most people are believing. But it would make sense to think that all this weaponry that all these NATO nations are putting into this war, and they still want more. They can't defeat Russia. It says they can't offset prophecy, right? That lie is being exposed as Russian troops. Hold on, that lie is being exposed. Luke 12:2. I think it's 12:2 I'm looking at. The water YAHAWASHI. Luke 12 verse 2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be made known. That shall not be known. Right? So what did they tell you this? The mass media in the United States and in Europe have carefully concealed the fact that while they spin the West narrative that the Ukraine is winning, that lie is being exposed daily as Russian forces rout more and more Ukraine forces from the eastern areas that have seceded and joined Russia. See? So I said that there's no way that they will destroy Russia. There will no way they'll defeat Russia. Because everything is being exposed. It says, without the flow of Western reserve troops and Western weapons coming from Poland and Romania, Ukraine will be quickly doomed. See that? And they've been giving them a lot of ammunition. So let's say, because you know why? Russia and Belarus were the only two countries that were banned from this year's 2024 Olympics in France. Because of why? The ongoing tensions in the war. So let's go to this one here. Oh, what happened here? Belarus send more troops. This is from the Associated Press. Belarus send more troops and aircraft to its border with Ukraine. Belarus has deployed an aircraft and air defense troops to its border with Ukraine, a day after President Alexander Lukashenko announced that he would station almost a third of the country's military along the frontier. The Belarusian military also deployed anti-aircraft missiles and soldiers from the country's radio technical corps. Major General Andrei Lukashenkov, commander of the Belarusian Air Defense Forces, said on national television, describing the move as a significant increase. Belarusian authoritarian leader Lukashenko on Sunday announced that he'd ordered almost a third of the army to the border with Ukraine. Although he did not specify troop numbers, you never give out your numbers, Belarus army numbers about 60,000. I thought it would have been bigger than that. Lukashenko said the decision was in response to additional Ukrainian troops being deployed along the border, but that could not be independently verified because Belarus and Russia are allies thick and thin. It says Ukraine has not confirmed the Belarusian deployment to the 1,084 kilometer border. Russia has used Belarus, which depends on Russian loans and cheap energy, as a staging ground for its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, moving its troops through Belarusian territory to attack Ukraine from the north. Russia also moved some of its tactical nuclear weapons into Belarus in 2023. Lukashenko on Sunday also called for negotiation between Russia and Ukraine, but said Kiev's current incursion into Russia, Kursk region, prevented talks. He described the escalation was an attempt to provoke Moscow. And this is why you're seeing people, because everything is being manifested and everything is being known. Everything is coming out to the light because prophecy has to be fulfilled. Anyways, that's really all I had on that. I didn't want to go into it for too long. I hope you've been edified. Till the next time I say, Thawada, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Shalom.